Today we're going to be talking about safety behaviors in social anxiety and why some of the things you might be doing to feel better are actually making you feel worse. Hi everyone. If you have social anxiety, social situations can trigger really high levels of anxiety and fear, making it really difficult and hard to be in social situations. So it's natural to want to try to do things to make that anxiety go away and to make yourself feel safer. We call these safety behaviors. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how these safety behaviors work and the problems that they cause. But before I get into that, just a couple of disclaimers to go over. I'm a registered psychologist in the province of British Columbia, Canada. And this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute or replacement for advice from your doctor or mental health professional. Now, with those things out of the way, let's talk about safety behaviors in social anxiety. Now, in previous videos, I've discussed a model of social anxiety, explaining how early life experiences and kind of innate characteristics or innate sensitivities in a person can contribute to a person developing negative beliefs about themselves and other people that can feed fearful expectations going into social situations. So fearful expectations like, I'm going to do something wrong and embarrass myself, or people are going to think I'm weird. And so these feared expectations can then lead me to doing things or trying to do things to feel safer or to prevent the negative outcomes from happening. These are safety behaviors. And essentially, safety behaviors in social anxiety are anything that we do to avoid or to reduce anxiety in these social situations. Now, these safety behaviors can become so automatic that we're not even aware that we're doing them. Or they can become so automatic that we're not even aware that we're doing them in response to anxiety. So, in social anxiety, safety behaviors can take many different forms. So, things like avoiding eye contact, or talking really softly, or engaging in mental rehearsal before making a phone call, sort of thinking exactly what you're going to say in that phone call, or something I call like innocuous sociability. So things like smiling and nodding and being very agreeable with everything that somebody's saying. So in social anxiety, a person will do these types of things to prevent negative outcomes from happening in those social situations. So if I'm avoiding eye contact, that other person who I'm afraid is going to judge me negatively, that other person might not notice me or might not talk to me. If I'm talking really softly in a situation, the other person may not be offended by what I'm saying or may not think I'm coming across as overly aggressive. If I rehearse a phone call, if I write down exactly what I'm going to say during the phone call and read it off, I won't forget what I have to say or fumble over my words. If I smile, nod, and agree with everything the other person's saying, that other person is more likely to like me. So, the idea of these safety behaviors is they're designed to make me feel better. And if the safety behaviors make me feel better, if they make me feel safer, well, what's the big deal? Why shouldn't I be doing these things? What's wrong with avoiding eye contact? So what if I don't speak particularly loudly? What's the big deal of me taking a few minutes to rehearse what I'm going to say before the phone call? What's wrong with being nice and agreeable with other people? I mean, even the term safety behavior seems like a a nice term, a good term. These are behaviors I do in order to be safe. Well, isn't that a good thing? Not really. You see, there's three main problems associated with these types of safety behaviors and social anxiety. Three main ways in which the social anxiety, these safety behaviors, are actually quite negative and quite harmful. And the first is that safety behaviors increase your level of self consciousness in a social situation and thereby increase anxiety. So, when using safety behaviors, where is my attention focused? What am I paying attention to? Well, I'm paying attention to myself. My focus of attention is inward. What's going on inside of me? And if I'm focused on myself, think about the things that I'm likely to notice in these social interactions. I'm likely to notice how anxious or uncomfortable I am in the social situation. I'm likely to notice bodily sensations. I'm more likely to notice that little bead of sweat that's forming on my forehead or my hands trembling. So if I'm noticing my anxiety or I'm noticing these bodily sensations, how do you think that's making me feel in these social interactions? Well, I'm probably going to feel even more anxious. So the irony is these safety behaviors that are aimed at making me feel less anxious, well, guess what? Now I'm more anxious in the social situation because of the safety behaviors. Now, the second issue with safety behaviors, the second problem with safety behaviors, is that the safety behaviors can actually increase the likelihood of the negative thing happening in the social situation. In other words, by using these safety behaviors, I'm more likely to have these feared negative outcomes actually happen in these social interactions. So, how is this possible? How does that work? Well, if I'm doing the safety behaviors and I'm really focused on myself and I'm sort of preoccupied with what's going on inside of me, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, then I'm not focused on what's going on around me. So if I'm interacting with someone and my focus is on me, what that means is that I might lose track of what the other person is telling me. I might lose track of the conversation, or it may be clear that I'm not entirely focused on what the other person is saying to me. And so the other person may think that, well, they may notice this and they may think that I'm not interested in what they're saying, or they may think that I'm being rude, or that I'm kind of really spacey and like totally disengaged from what they're saying. And so if I'm not making eye contact when interacting with someone, if I'm not talking or responding to the other person, what's the message that I'm giving that other person? Well, the message that they might be picking up is that I'm not really interested in them or what they're saying, that I don't want to talk, and just leave me alone. And so, even though I might be interested in this person, even though I might be wanting to have this interaction with this person, because I'm anxious and because I'm engaging in those safety behaviors to try and keep me safe or make me less anxious, the safety behaviors can actually make the feared outcome happen. And so it becomes this really negative, self-fulfilling prophecy. And the third problem with safety behaviors is that the safety behaviors in social anxiety may not be necessary, and they may actually be preventing you from learning if you actually have something to be anxious about in these social situations. So imagine I'm using some of these safety behaviors in a social situation. So I go to a party and I don't talk to anyone at the party because I don't want to embarrass myself. So I go to the party, don't talk to anyone, and I don't get embarrassed. So the situation goes well, nothing bad happens. What that does is it reinforces to me that the safety behavior worked. That I went to the party, I didn't embarrass myself. The reason I didn't embarrass myself was because I didn't talk to anyone. So if I believe that the safety behavior, the not talking to anyone, is preventing that negative outcome, so embarrassing myself, what do you think I'm going to do the next time I go to the party, the next time I'm in that social situation? Well, I'm going to use the safety behavior. I'm not going to talk to anybody. And so I won't embarrass myself. But the problem is the perception that the safety behavior, the not talking to anyone, prevented the negative outcome, that may actually not be true. Maybe the negative outcome wouldn't have happened anyway. Maybe if I actually had talked to someone, I wouldn't have embarrassed myself. But the problem is, by engaging in the safety behavior, I'll never know that. There's no way of disproving these negative beliefs and these negative fears that I have about these social situations. And so these safety behaviors in social anxiety may actually interfere with me accomplishing goals that I want to achieve. If I never say anything to people, sure, it may prevent me from saying something embarrassing. But what impact does that have on my ability to develop friendships, to meet new people, to take advantage of new work opportunities? So these safety behaviors may not actually be making me safe. They may actually not be making you safe. But what they are doing is that they're making your life smaller. So if you have social anxiety and you're trying to keep yourself safe by using these safety behaviors, it may seem very intuitive. It may seem very natural to do these types of things. But I think it's important to understand that all these safety behaviors are really doing is maintaining your anxiety, making your anxiety worse, and preventing you from getting an accurate sense of how much danger you're actually in, how threatening, how dangerous these social situations actually are. Social anxiety is a greedy condition. It's like this social anxiety gremlin that's sitting on your shoulder and telling you to do all of the things that makes the social anxiety worse. Telling you to engage in these safety behaviors, it's just perpetuating the social anxiety. So it's just this sneaky way that social anxiety keeps you on the hook and keeps the social anxiety going. Now, in future videos, I'm going to be talking more and giving you some examples and types of safety behaviors in social anxiety. And we're going to be talking about what it is that you can do to reduce or eliminate these safety behaviors. So I hope that makes sense. I would love to hear your thoughts, ideas, or questions about this. So please leave me some comments in the comments section down below. If you've been enjoying my videos and would like to see more, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll be alerted every week when I post a new video. So that's all for today's video. As always, thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.